Sir President, I hope I could be more ready. Sana mas handa po tayo. Yan po ang isang katanungan na parati nating sinasabi pag may isang sakuna, pag may isang calamity, lalo po sa pagputok ng bulkan or sa mga earthquakes, sa mga tinatawag na ngang acts of God kasi hindi natin mapaliwanag at masyadong malakas na puwersa ng nature. The good news, Mr. President, is that we can be more ready. And that is the whole substance of the sponsorship speech for the act providing for the modernization of the Philippine Institute of Volcanology and Seismology, PHIVOLCS, and providing funds therefor. Parati natin sinasabi, sana we have more facts, sana yung science, sana may warning. Yan po ay magagawa. Of course, walang perfect. But to move towards having the best data at the earliest possible time is in fact possible already if we pass this bill. So, Mr. President, not to delay it any further, I ask that the explanatory notes of the bills filed by Senator Subiri, Senator Estrada, Senator Revilla, Senator Tolentino, Senator Mark Villar, Senator Ejercito, Senator Villanueva, and Senator Escudero be included as the sponsorship speech. May I just thank, especially, of course, Dr. Teresito C. Bacolcol, PhilBox Director, who in a number of hearings, different fora, and even here has always been present and explaining what they need. In fact, Mr. President, after he explained what they need, ang reaksyon ng karamihan na nakarinig is bakit ganyan pakahaba yung time na ibibigay natin at ganyang kaliit na pondo, hindi ba pwedeng mas madaliin, no? So, Mr. President, allow me to also just recognize Dr. Maria Maylin Villegas, Mr. Ismael C. Narag, OIC Seismological Observation and Earthquake Prediction Division, Dr. Arthur Daag, Ms. Angela G. Montes. Of course, binabantayan po ni Director Lita Suerte Felipe, Department Legislative Liaison Office, Dr. Ronally Orteza, Executive Director of the Philippine Science High School System, USEC Maridon Sahagun, USEC for Scientific and Technical Services, and USEC Ted Teodoro M. Gatchalian, USEC for Special Concerns. Sir President, I'm excited about this bill because it will really help a lot of people, but it will also open the doors for modernization of not only DOST, the ICT, of many agencies of government na kailangan natin, pero naalala lang natin pag kailangan na natin sila. At wala tayong nasasabi na sa atin sarili kung hindi, sana mas handa ako. With this bill, Mr. President, mas magiging handa po tayong lahat. Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, Majority and Minority Leader.
Thank you, Senator Alan Peter Cayetano, Majority Leader.
Mr. President, Senator Juan Miguel Zubiri would like to deliver his co-sponsorship speech on Senate Bill number 2825.
Senator Subiri is recognized.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Mr. President, earthquakes and volcanic eruptions have long been part of the parcel of our lives. Tremendous earthquakes and eruptions have shaped our history and continue to shape the way we live. And as a country sitting along the Pacific Ring of Fire, we live in constant anticipation of the big one. Throughout all of this, we have depended upon the vital services of the Philippine Institute of Volcanology and Seismology, or PHIVOLCS, for our disaster preparedness and policy making. And I just found out yesterday, while defending their budget in committee level, that PHIVOLCS was actually born out of a volcanic eruption in Mount Hibok-Hibok, Camiguin. And then there was I forget who the president was in the 1950s, and they came up with a commission, I think the Philippine Volcanic Commission or some sort, if I'm not mistaken. And yet, for all that we depend upon the PHIVOLCS, it has over the years been left to its own devices, functioning on a woefully limited administrative capacity and using physical and technological resources and facilities that are no longer up to date. This is unacceptable for a country that is likely to be hit by a seismological disaster of mythic proportions. Look at Japan. They are even more vulnerable to earthquakes and tsunamis than we are, but they have a remarkable whole-of-government approach to disaster preparedness and covers everything from resilient infrastructure to citizen engagement and training. We have to aspire to do the same for our country, our beloved Philippines, especially as we prepare for the big one. And we can't do this if we don't give FIVOX the room to fully live up to its mandate. As such, we endeavor to principally author the FIVOX Modernization Act that we are co-sponsoring today. Mr. President, this bill recognizes the importance of FIVOX as our lead agency on volcano and earthquake monitoring and warning systems. First, by raising the role and responsibility of its officers and fixing its organizational structure to give it an executive director who will then lead the formulation of FIVOX modernization program. Under this program, we will empower FIVOX to acquire or upgrade its instruments, equipment, facilities, and systems to make sure that they're using state-of-the-art technologies that will best allow them to monitor and disseminate timely public warnings on volcanic and seismic activities across the country. This modernized FIVOX will also be tasked to work closely with other government agencies and the private sector for a truly whole-of-government and whole-of-society approach to disaster preparedness. They will team up with the DepEd and CHED to incorporate hazard education into our school curriculum. They will as well team up with LGUs to ensure that all infrastructure plans take our geohazard maps into account. They will team up with telcos to ensure the real-time transmission of information between FIVOX and its equipment. And Mr. President, napakalaga na mapalakas natin ang FIVOX. Sila po ang inaasahan natin sa panahon ng sakuna. At buhay ng mga kababayan natin na nakataya kung hindi natin matutulungan ng FIVOX na tuparin ang mandato nito. So, Mr. President, we fervently hope that we get the support of our colleagues in passing this timely measure. Maraming salamat po at mabuhay po tayong lahat.
Thank you, Senator Mig Subiri. Majority Leader.
Mr. President, Senator Bongo wishes to insert into the records his co-sponsorship speech.
Noted.
Senator Revilla, Senator Villanueva would also like to insert into the record